I'm not allowed to cross into this grassy area because this is actually considered part of the Rio Grande, and the international boundary is halfway between here and the far bank. They run across this grassy field here. These are all hugely lit. It's very bright and illuminated at night, but they make the dash there. They carry with them portable acetylene torches. So they cut a hole through that fence. The big fear is because the violence there is so graphic and so bloody and so impossible to overstate. They are fearful that that will become America's problem in a more murderous way than it has already. Well, welcome back live, everybody. Because kidnapping and carjackings have become epidemic in Mexico, let's face it, many business people are fighting their own private wars to stay free and in one piece. And now they've got a brand new weapon. Jason Forston is the executive VP for Texas Armoring Corp. They've built this Suburban, and they built it to take a licking and keep on ticking. What's that armor like?
This armor is very, very high level. It will stop an AK-47, an M16, even a hand grenade, you know, so it's very, very high level.
Our lives were saved in Mosul, Iraq by one of these vehicles, so I can vouch for them. You also have some bells and whistles, right?
We do. Go ahead and light it up, Javier.
Oh, gee. All right, now, I'm not touching this door. I don't want to make myself the dummy here, but tell me about the door.
This is electric shocking door handles. If a carjacker or someone from a drug cartel tries to kidnap someone, the door is actually electrified, and you can actually see here, you know, the shock is on. It's not lethal, but it will give you a very, very good jolt.
So it's not lethal, but it'll give you a really good jolt. Okay.
You'll let go.
All right, tell me about the tax.
We also have road tax. If someone's pursuing you, you flip a switch in your center console, drop the tax, and it'll pop their tires.
I've heard of the tax before, but you also have this smoke screen feature. Can Javier demonstrate that for us?
Go ahead, Javier. Turn on smoke.
Also, check this out. So if you're following this car, they start making the smoke, and then they lose you in a kind of fog. I'm disappearing in the fog on the Mexican border. How much?
About $250,000 for this.
$250,000.
Yes.
All right. So you're not going to buy it to go to the drive-in. Thanks, Jason. It's $250,000, but the people buying them can afford it. Also with me, documentary filmmaker Rusty Fleming, and the chief Richard Wiles joins me again. And is David Denlinger ready in Phoenix? David, are you there? The chief criminal investigator for the state of Arizona, the Arizona State Police? Okay.
That's correct.
David, thank you for being here. Chief, thank you, excuse me, for being so informal. Why do you think, Chief, that Phoenix, Arizona has this dubious, this awful distinction of being the kidnapping capital now because of this Mexican violence? Why'd they choose Phoenix? Tucson is a lot closer to the border. Why Phoenix? Why your town? Or your capital, I should say.
Two things, and first off, the kidnappings are related to smuggling and not people that are going to the movies or anything, but the smuggling comes in two layers. Across the border, you're moving your product, whether it's drugs or humans, and then you get it to an intermediate distribution center, not a whole lot different from any industry. And Phoenix, historically, in the drug trade, has been that distribution center before products gets distributed across the U.S. And that's what we have here is these drop houses where smugglers are stealing each other's human cargo or holding human cargo for ransom.
And they are perpetrating this violence, this horrible violence. We've seen your officers giving reports about torturing these victims. And how exactly do they arrange the ransoms, Chief?
What they normally do, and we did one of these just this afternoon, we do 1 or 2 a week of these drop houses, and they'll have a fortified room where they may strap people down, put them on a cell phone, torture them while they call family to send money to somebody that'll pick it up. And once they verify the money's been sent, then they'll release people. In the case today, they were threatening this person with decapitation should the family not come up with the money.
Has it come to that? We've had beheadings over there in Juarez. Have they had any of that really gory stuff in Phoenix?
Actually, in the drop houses, we have had a number of homicides. I'm not aware of decapitations.
My goodness, it's just awful. Chief Wild, you had a kidnapping last night, didn't you?
Yes, we had an incident where a businessman was kidnapped by an individual and held until they can access his safe at his business, and then ultimately he was tied up and left in a vacant house, and he managed to get away.
This is a U.S. businessman?
Yes, sir, and the individual responsible for that has been arrested. We don't know if anybody else is involved or if it has any connections to drugs, but we've got the individual in custody.
And he was saved?
Yes, he actually saved himself. Again, he was taped up, left in an abandoned house, and managed to escape.
That's I'm sorry that, you know, I've seen a lot, but that's crazy, just crazy stuff. Rusty, but what's even more crazy is that they're telling me in Juarez that 8 little girls were kidnapped this week. What the hell is that about?
You know, Geraldo, that is one of the most underreported tragedies in these communities. Over the last decade plus, there have been thousands of young women that have gone missing. And some of it has been tied to occults, some of it has been tied to the cartels, but it has always been absolutely a tragedy. This last one, there's so little information coming out on what happened to these young girls. But it clearly is just like everything else, it all gets blamed on the cartels. There's so much out-of-control violence over there that all these little groups can do what they want to do, get away with it, and it gets blamed on the cartels.
Chief, come on, why do you think, come on over, why do you think there hasn't been any murders in 36 hours over there?
Well, I've always felt like what the Mexican president's done by bringing in more military, that was going to help quell the violence, and I think that's a realization we're all looking at right now.
Congressman Reyes, I have to ask you, going back to this kidnapping topic, and these, they call it femicides, I guess, is that the word, Rusty?
Yeah.
Femicides. What is, do you have you're the chairman of the House Intel Committee, what is that about?
Are you talking about the
little girls being kidnapped?
The women?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's been going on since the early 90s, and there are a lot of theories that are out there. We've helped a lot by providing the Juarez Police Department with training in forensics and DNA, and there's a DNA bank now established that we've helped with. So we're doing everything we can, but there clearly is much more we could do to help Mexico, both on the local level and on the national level.
But is this a function, let's be honest here, we love Mexico. I spent many happy weeks and months in Mexico. It's a wonderful friend to the United States. But this craziness with little girls being kidnapped, with thousands of people being murdered, is this a function of the notoriously corrupt local police? And is that what's different? That the local guys have been so embedded with the drug gangsters, so corrupted by all these, I saw that one guy was getting $400,000 cash a month. I mean, is that what happened? And now you bring in these soldiers from out of town. They have no connection to the local gangsters, and they're cleaning it up.
Well, this is why we've got an opportunity here, and this is why I admire and respect President Calderon so much, because when he came in and spoke about taking on the drug cartels and the criminal gangs and ferreting out corruption, everybody kind of said, well, yeah, we've heard this before. But here's someone that has stayed with that, and at great cost, because there have been a number of people that have penetrated his administration. That
bad guys,
yeah.
Mayor, come here. The point the Mexican ambassador made, Mayor John Cook, the mayor of the great city of El Paso, was that we're the ones buying the dope. We're the ones giving them the money with which their society is being corrupted. Isn't there some fairness to that point?
Oh, for sure. And we're also the ones laundering the money and sending it back by the truckload. We're the ones manufacturing the guns and sending them over there to do the killing. So the United States has to take some responsibility for what's going on.
You know, there's a banking crisis in this country, banks closing all across the country. In El Paso, banks are opening. Is that a function of all this bad cash out there?
Well, I would hope not. I mean, we also have $51 billion of trade back and forth between Mexico and the United States right here in El Paso alone. I'm hoping that that's what we're seeing. Plus, you have Fort Bliss expanding in size, tripling the size of the military installation.
I hope it's that and not cocaine money.
I hope so, too.
But do you worry, Sheriff, that with these stories, who's going to want to visit Mexico? I went to the University of Arizona. University of Arizona said to the students, you can't go to Mexico for spring break. The guys at